Okay.
All right.
Lots of things.
I'm glad I didn't like step out, you know, to take a whiz, or I would have come back and the first phase is over.
Yeah, so VP, pretty standard VP opening with the Darkseer plus like melee partner. It's not the Slaughter, which they probably would have preferred over the Night Stalker. The Night Stalker is actually an unusual pick here, but it's picked as for two reasons: the Coddle counter as well as the Darkseer partner. So while not the optimal Darkseer partner, it is great against Keeper of the Light, ensuring that it's almost always nighttime. You're not going to get good value out of the Aghanim Scepter on the Coddle. And it is a very nice, aggressive, full-position hero that Low can play as well.
Yeah, what about the Coddle pick for NaVi? Is that something you expected out of them? Is there a particular strategy in mind with this? Like, are they trying to rush that Ags and just 5-man with the Healing Ward, or what are you thinking is the reasoning behind the pick?
Coddle's very strong right now. It's not like a set playstyle with the hero. It's kind of flexible in that you can go for this 5-man play with the Ag Scepter timing, but you can also play split push using the recall, as well as like it benefits a lot of different core heroes like Storm Spirit, Naga Siren. There's a lot of different cores you can pair well with the Coddle, so it's pretty open. I think that's the really nice thing about Coddle is there's not like one play style that the Coddle like forces you to play. You can go for aggro lanes. Coddle's really good in these aggro dual lanes, aggro tri lanes. He's got a really kind of good skill set in that you can mix up your build. You can go for a greedy farming build with Illuminate. You can go for some extra lane presence with Mana Leak. So it's very flexible, and there's no like one set way that this Coddle's going to be played.
Second stage of bans now. NaVi removing the sniper. Still VP looking at those initiating heroes. NaVi get to draft a reliable stun.
10 seconds remaining.
They will take out the Sand King, which we did see in game number 1 was reasonably effective. The Nyx, the other big hero that they grabbed, did well against the Darkseer in the lanes.
Reserve time.
Yeah.
They have the Coddle. Often we see him used a lot with the recall to set up ganks, but you need that hero who can actually make the ganks happen.
Yeah, perhaps you do consider banning the Nyx after that General's performance in game 1 and that the Sand King's taken out. So those offlane options are more limited, but I think the really common Coddle partner we've seen is Brewmaster. That was what Liquid used to do a lot of, these Coddle Brewmaster dual lanes. If you want to really pressure and win the lanes, and that's something, VP maybe have a weak safe lane since they're picking up the Night Stalker. He's unlikely to be in the safe lane. He's more likely to be pairing up with the Darkseer. Although I say that game 1 they sent Slaughter to safe lane to secure the lanes. Yep, as you suggest, they'll ban out the Nyx, take it away, and limit NaVi.
Have to see what NaVi can pull out of the hat, if there's anything left untapped that is available, remaining. But really do need a good initiator.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
Here it's definitely probably the most desired offlaner at the moment. So I don't think NaVi is going to be too thrown off by this, and they're probably happy to just fall back on one of their less conventional offline options. If they want to go for the 5-man push, the Underlord's great. If they want to go for a more ganking style, the Clockwork's great. So remaining. It kind of depends what approach they're going to take to this game as to what offlaner they pick.
Remaining.
VP. With the Night Stalker, you mentioned kind of a counter to the Keeper of the Light. Also a very good map control hero. And... well, Troll a hero that can mow those towers down to enable that map control. So VP get their carry now, or one of them anyway. Some synergy, I suppose, between that ult and the Night Stalker, but nothing too amazing.
Yeah, nothing insane, but a good hero to fight early with who you can put an Iron Shell on Troll. Typically going for like an SMY type build, maybe a Helm of the Dominator as well. You can just chuck an Iron Shell on him, he runs in and get that extra bit of damage. So definitely a nice hero to have with the Darkseer. And also, it kind of, I guess, suggests they just wanted to pick this up perhaps before NaVi take it, and they don't really feel like picking a Troll doesn't really reveal a whole lot. It's not like a set playstyle. It's not like a Terrorblade where it's like, all right, there's a big like pushing carry that scales to the late game. Troll is just like that. It's kind of like the Gyrocopter. It's like, well, it's a Gyrocopter. It's a Troll. Like it you know what you're getting with it. It's not a hero you're gonna straight up try and counter pick with any of your heroes if you're NaVi. And it leaves most likely their last pick for the mid lane. They'll probably pick a support 4th and then have the last overall pick, which they're going to try use to get a good mid laner.
Oh, NaVi busting out the Earth Spirit here, so good initiator, and someone who doesn't really require much farm to get those initiations off. Also, up against 3 melee heroes, the dream scenario for Magnetize.
NaVi's turn to pick.
Right for NaVi when I've seen it, but curious to see how they make this work in this game here.
Let's see. Disruptor grab by VP.
Yeah,
So
pretty standard.
Seconds remaining.
VP classic support, exactly what they want to have in
5
Solo's
seconds
hands, so
remaining.
nothing too crazy there. And again, it keeps their mid lane for the last overall pick of the draft, so they can
Reserve
counter
time.
or look to either counter Navi's picks or at least make sure their mid lane has a very favorable matchup to give them a bit of an edge.
yeah, and they have a great hero to give vision for that glimpse with the Night Stalker, so definitely some good long range pick-off potential there.
So for Navi, we'll see a bit more about what they're going to do, whether the jug's going to be like a mid lane jug, which is unlikely since Pyket's been playing this more often than not for them, and exactly what they want to get for Dendy in a game like this. There's a lot of aggressive potential with the Glimpse, with the Night Stalker. The Vision game can kind of come into play as well, so they're probably going to get something not too like kind of volatile for that mid lane, since it may be a bit of a tough mid game for Dendy.
Oh, you mentioned the Underlord.
Radiant team.
We will see him in the off lane. Gives them some much needed additional lockdown. Some okay D push here, I suppose. And as for Dendy heroes, the Invoker, probably his most played one, who's still available. But given the success, or
10
should I say
seconds
lack thereof,
remaining.
that they had, I don't know if they run it in this situation. Also here, they can be
5
dove
seconds
very hard,
remaining.
and they really don't have that many saves or defensive abilities. So I think you want someone very
Reserve
tanky or at least difficult to go on.
Yeah, I'm not sold that would be the ideal pick for them. They're also a bit lacking in. I mean, they've got lockdown in with the Boulder Smash and the Pit of Malice, but it's not like reliable initiation or lockdown. Earth Spirit, once he has a blink, becomes a bit more reliable with his initiation, but that's something which makes it hard to start fights, but also hard to, like, if you go for an Invoker, it's like hard to instantly save them. If Invoker gets gone and you haven't got that insta counter initiation team fight stun. So it may limit.
I'm trying
their
to think
options
what's
for the mid.
available. There's like OD still out there, I suppose, but he's more of like a carry mid than a pure initiator.
I like it. It's a bit less greedy, perhaps. There's the Shadow Fiend, the OD ban. There we go.
NaVi's turn to
All right,
pick.
now I mean, unless you want to go something that's like a kind of team fight ganker, like a Beastmaster, but you're not going to do that well against Troll and lane, I imagine.
No, I don't think. Oh well, I don't think the Beastmaster's going to come. Oh, it'd be in mid laner, so I don't think they're going to get that for Dendy.
No, I'm just
5
thinking like
seconds
outside the
remaining.
box here, but
Yeah. So more likely we'll see like a. I think you're in a game to decide. There's still like some level of like leaning towards a comfort hero is always going to be part of it. So maybe they do consider the Invoker just for the comfort factor. Otherwise, you're looking at like Shadow Fiend TA, which are also again. Dendy's got a decent hero pool, but I think it's more likely we see him on something he's played before. And there we go. Invoker comes out.
Team pick.
Not the dream pick, I think, for their draft, but at least it's something they're going to feel all right with.
40% win rate. Now, granted, that's only out of 5 games, so you win one more, suddenly it's 60, and it feels a little better. But
yeah, I mean,
not
they
the
only
best
won,
showing
like,
in
half.
the qualifiers with the 0.
Remaining.
Yeah, and they only won like half their group stage games anyway. What, they were 5 and 4, so
5 seconds
Right.
it wasn't like they were winning lots of games and losing with Invoker. And this is why you save your mid pick for last, because they see the Invoker, they then pick the lane winner in the TA to go up against that Invoker. So will be a tough mid lane for Dendy to farm, and he has got the Earth Spirit to help him out, which is going to be a lot of pressure onto NaVi for the Earth Spirit player.
So VP, very much the run at you and dive and find individual hero pickoff style lineup. Almost no team fight aside from Darkseer. NaVi, a lot more AoE, a lot more 5-man potential, but could be quite vulnerable here. You've got Keeper of the Light, who's very squishy. Earth Spirit, normally elusive, but against the Glimpse, I don't know if you can rely on that so much. Invoker, who,
10
especially
seconds
early,
remaining.
if he gets caught out, could be in a lot of trouble. Definitely feels like VP are going to be the
5
team
seconds
running at
remaining.
NaVi, which, I mean, you mentioned they'd like to sit back and farm, but I think they look to get their god that first at nighttime.
It's maybe less laning stage, but definitely once the laning stage kind of collapses and you get your, like, just, yeah, like you say, second nighttime is kind of like around the timing where VP are going to be strong. Once they have level 6s, once they have just, like, I mean, for Darkseer, it's like maybe a level 7, so you have a level 4 Iron Shell, chucking on a TA, a Nightstalker, start running at people, getting some glimpse kills, so NaVi are going to be the ones perhaps a bit greedier this game. Last game it was like greed versus greed. It wasn't like a who's greedy. It was just like a who could use their greed to take better fights, which was NaVi. This time around it's NaVi trying to kind of take the greedy approach against the aggressive VP mid game.
All right, who's your money on here? Game 3, NaVi looking for the upset against VP.
I think it's draft wise I prefer VP, and I think, I mean, before I saw the draft I would have still stuck with VP. Just I feel like they made the adjustment. They know they just need to maybe ban out that Magnus, and now having seen the draft, I think I favor VP slightly more, but never know. It's if Dendy can have a big game on the Invoker, there is the potential there for NaVi to make some plays happen around the map. It is hard because they haven't got good Sunstrike set up, but that's just, I mean, that's where a good Invoker player may not need those setups. So we'll see what Dendy can do and whether or not NaVi can get enough out of the lanes. I think the lanes is going to be important for them because they've got potential to upset the lanes a bit. Like a Coddle Underlord lane can be very disruptive. The Earth Spirit with his roam around the map can perhaps win or at least secure the mid lane for Invoker. Pycat's likely to be just left alone a bit and just trying to have to fend for himself against the Darkseer, which is fine if you can win the other lane. So if NaVi can do well in mid and bottom with the Earth Spirit and the Coddle, that could be the way for them to succeed in this game 3.
Yeah, support's going to enter the lanes now as we unpause, get into it. Armen will be looking for that early observer ward, and so too will Solo. Plants one down bottom. Curious to see where this Earth Spirit heads and where the pressure comes, as generally this is the main hero you look to for NaVi to control the lanes to find those early picks. Solo gonna have a smoke break here. We'll scout out Armen. And knows there's a ward in the area. In fact, I believe started painting almost immediately in that area. Yep, right on top of it from the Night Stalker. But no sentries as of yet. Is there any? I don't think so.
Courier's going out. Courier does not have sentries. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, but they still, they know the ward's there, so they can almost abuse that to maybe mess with NaVi and bait them into a dive that they're ready for.
Yeah, and even just the second you have 100 gold on a support, you just buy it and give it to the TA. TA can tango down the observer ward and get the double regen. So there's a lot of nice things you can do just knowing where a ward is. I mean, it's 100 gold for the TA as well, so you may as well take it, I guess.
Yeah, pays for the sentry.
Yep. VP going for aggro lanes. That's perhaps the interesting thing to note here. They're going to be sending the troll up top. They're kind of dodging that annoying dual lane. The Underlord Coddle lane double spam is kind of similar to the Coddle Brewmaster in what they do. You've got a tanky melee hero, the Brew, this time the Underlord, and the Coddle who sits behind, spamming Illuminate, giving the Underlord mana, and just very hard to kind of fight into this lane. So they say, why fight it? Let's just send our carry top. Give Darkseer the tougher lane, which is a scenario that Darkseer doesn't really mind too much. He can push it out with Iron Shell and then even use the side pulls to his advantage.
And it's basically a 0 chance of kill lane, as you've had a roll in from Armen, not going to connect. Already Lil trying to apply that early pressure to Dendy, who has skilled up Cold Snap first. Did grab the Blades of Attack, but wondering what's the Dendy build? Is it Quas Flex Gods, Quas Exhort? Is it open?
These rushing phase boots makes me think this will be a Quas-Wex build. That perhaps makes more sense because we're looking at this like, oh, it's not going to be a good Invoker game. We don't really think Invoker should be the last pick, but that's kind of more us talking about the Exalt build. So the Quas-Wex build is going to offer a lot more control in mid-game, and it's less greedy because I don't think you can get away with greedy against this VP draft. So that's what Dendy's going to do to make up for it with the Invoker. Go for the more tempo-controlling, mid-game focused build. Pycat's getting bullied.
Quite a bit of pressure, but yeah, as you mentioned, Pycat being heavily harassed. Solo did shoot through his Clarity Potion. And
I mean, he's already used a salve. Like, that's a salve and 2 tangos used. He's got 2 tangos left, but he's gotten 3 CS and used a salve and 2 tangos. This is a terrible lane for Pycat.
And the bullying also a bit in the mid lane as Dendy sits only 4 and 2. Not an easy lane to CS. Especially if you are going for the Quas-Wex build.
Yeah, it's and the Quaswex loses harder against the TA than the other builds, just in terms of CS. The Alacrity build is probably like, if you're in a straight 1v1 with no outside influence and your draft doesn't need a Quaswex Invoker, you'd want to go the Exalt, like the Wexalt build early on to get the Alacrity, but he obviously doesn't feel like he can get away with it. Pyke gets a kill, he gets first blood, that makes up for the entire bad laning stage. That is a much needed kill at that. Nice roll in, and that's gonna help things out there.
And we say a bad lane stage, but I guess in fairness to Navi, General is completely free farming. Catching up decently here, all things considered, and with that kill now, Pycat having a good time top. So all three lanes going solidly for Navi. Man, this Underlord doing some serious work.
Yeah,
really
that's
making Pasha's life miserable.
That's why they don't send the troll down there. They just see that lane and they're like, well, Troll's gonna have a much better time at top. They were beating Pycat, but giving him that first blood basically offsets all the hard work they'd done, harassing him, chewing through his Tengos and Salve, and stopping him from farming. So Pycat, he's kind of recovered, at least in the first, like, as far as 3-minute recovery goes with that kill.
Viver revving up the Illuminate here. Ramses will dodge away from it. See Solo kind of fencing around, but just the constant spam and harassment. Another swing and a miss. Could have been a full go on Ramses, and maybe even a kill had that connected. Really had either one connected, but not gonna have
been close. But still, just securing the lane, the harass going down, and they've got the Illuminate to continuously spam Ramses as well as the Chakra to sustain them in this lane, and Pycat at least gets the shop, thanks to he gets his poor man shield, his boots. This lane is kind of being recovered quite nicely. So laning wise, Navi have secured the top lane now. Bottom lane, of course, being won by the Underlord. The mid lane is still a struggle for Dendi, but he's getting his levels. He's level 4, and with a few more levels, he can start to perhaps do a bit better at harassing the TA. Tornado EMP. He's going to have phase boots for some extra damage to last hit with. So this lane gets a little bit easier as Dendi levels up.
First nighttime will clock in, and Lil uses that opportunity to grab a bounty rune deep in the enemy jungle. Sweeps around towards Dendi. Armin there to guard him for the time being, but also about to join the fray is Solo. VP gonna converge here on the Invoker, uses the Tornado EMP offensively. Perfect time to strike. Boulder Smash comes through, connects on all 3 heroes. Armin, big save there. He'll pay with his life, most likely, yeah, but otherwise it's Dendi who goes down.
That's worth it, and that's definitely the downside of ever using those spells offensively. Tornado MP goes down and they instantly go in top lane, though they are looking for the return retaliation on Ramses. They won't get it, though.
Nice TP out, and not a lane that can really do anything about that. As Pasha continues to take some harass, but he is free farming here in his own right to match General. So, a rotation on the top lane. Armin rolls in and then follows up with the kick, but he might get punished here. Trying to run away, there is a level 1 glimpse, and he'll use it. Pulls him back in under the tower. Armin dying again. Wow.
Kind of creating space, but not really getting... I mean, the mid-death was totally not his fault and like good for the team. That one, perhaps not so much for the benefit of his team that he dives in as he did.
So no one free farming now in the mid lane, and I guess God's looking forward like the next 5-10 minutes. What are the... Oh no! General! The bash bottom! This could be his death. Trying to run away from Ramses. Ramses getting juked a bit around the tree line. Can he catch this Underlord? Yeah, he's got the axes. We'll finish him off. The Earth Spirit was coming in, but Armin a bit late to the party.
It's the unfortunate 10%. Ramses got I think 2 or 3 right clicks off, but that was all he needed to secure the bash and get the kill. That Underlord was very, very farmed as well in that bottom lane, so that's a nice kill for a troll who was starting to struggle to hold his own in that top lane. So
yeah, he's close to mech here on the Underlord. He's really big. But it will be a mech deferred.
See where he goes. Probably just keeps going back to the bottom lane. Definitely one of the things with the Underlords, you just got to kind of keep farming your lane. You're not like a tempo controlling clockwork type offlaner. Talk about the different options for Navi. They went for that kind of greedier farming option with the off lane, but this does give them that strong 5-man once they have the mech. Mid lane, Dendi.
Trying to move in. Meanwhile, that jug spin amounting to naught, and they have the dust here mid, so they'll bring down the Dendi Invoker. Well, we mentioned coming in, they have a pretty low win rate on the hero in this qualifier, and VP showing they know how to punish it. Dive him under tower, kill him under tower, and I mean, NaVi just not the best lineup to counter gank. It's really just the Earth Spirit who can do anything.
Not done with the aggression. Nightstalker behind the tier 1 mid will force some TPs up, but I'm not sure NaVi can actually get any kills off of this. Dendy will come back after respawning, but he's just a level 5, now level 6 Invoker. Struggling quite heavily against TA, who's a full level ahead and full 1300 net worth ahead.
I feel like the way the game's developing for NaVi gods, like they're really going to have to rely on 5-manning around this mech and the Underlord's early levels, because when it comes to these smaller skirmishes, it just seems like VP are easily going to come out on top.
Yeah, they'll probably get the mech around the time Pyket has like a Helm of the Dominator, so they'll get that extra creep to play around. I mean, Dendy's a death hero there. Dendy's like not looking for any big item. He's just going to go straight into the urn, so he has that Cold Snap urn synergy, but realistically, yeah, Navi's going to try and fight fairly early on. Perhaps this daytime now they want to start taking some smaller clashes, even before the mech comes up, just to try and use the fact they've got this Quaswex Invoker. And the times where I'm seeing these Quaswex Invokers succeed is they're actually rotating around the map. They're getting involved very early on. This Tornado EMP doesn't really scale all that well past like the mid-game stages, so you typically want to try and use it as early on as possible.
Yeah, and eventually you get to the mid to late game and enemy carries very likely to have BKBs, and then Invoker doesn't offer anything against them with this build.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to get those fast levels too. He's not going for a Midas, so transitioning into the full like level 25 or level 20-25 Invoker with all 3 of his elements is going to be tough without that level progression.
Yeah, no Midas and Sight, and just not going to be able to CS very effectively either. So, as you mentioned, a lot of pressure here on NaVi to have that strong mid game. Not quite there just yet, but closing in on it. The mech, I believe, going to be picked up momentarily. Oh, I lost my cursor there.
Still a bit of a ways. He's with the arcane boots. He's just about got the headdress and buckler, perhaps.
Yeah, he's got
this roll.
He's got the headdress. It looks like.
Yeah.
Pretty much has the buckler now, so just needs the recipe.
Yeah, almost about halfway there, a bit over, and around that mech timing, it will be nighttime though, and it seems like this daytime typically you'd want to see perhaps a team with a Quaswex Invoker get active, but I think NaVi after the rough laning stage are just like, let's just use this daytime as a bit of a farming period. Like it's kind of like, you know, VP's not going to be quite as aggressive. They're going to use the daytime to farm, so NaVi's like, we've got a kind of greedier lineup, we want a mech, we want levels of Invoker, let's just use this little timing to be a bit greedier.
Well, they roll in, they try to find a clean kill on Solo, and it's anything but as the turnaround comes. General getting caught out in the bottom lane as he tries to escape. He won't make it. The Underlord goes down. Pasha with the karate chop finding the kill. So a 2-for-1 there. Wanted Solo, but was it worth it?
Not worth it at all. That is the aggression that I kind of spoke of during the daytime, which you can do if you bring the like Invoker or Jug. I feel like you don't want to go for that kind of a dive without one of your other cores involved as well. They had just the Underlord there. They weren't using the Quaswex Invoker. They weren't using the Jug, who's got Omni Slash now. If they bring one of those cores, I think that kind of move can work, but those cores are both probably telling their team, like, I'm going to farm, I need to catch up. So I think NaVi should just have been farming at that stage of the game.
VP now, this is what we often see from them, is if they feel like they're comfortable, they'll just really try to take advantage of some quality time in the jungle. Ramsey's using the Battle Trance to farm, and that's also going to accelerate no one CS. If we see some Ancient stacking later on, but for now, cleaning those up. So economy looking real solid for VP. Invoker not that great at farming. You've got Keeper of the Light, who's pretty decent. And the Underlord, who's obviously great, but this is a VP tempo for now.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a kind of dream TA game where you you go mid, you win your lane in terms of CS, you have you farm not just the lane but the jungle as well. It's been completely uncontested, hasn't had any harass really coming his way, and you're going to outfarm most of the mid laners in the game as a TA, outside of like a select few like the Alchemist type heroes when you get this kind of a game. So looking very good for no one. And his team's probably telling him, like, you just keep farming. We don't need you. We're winning these other lanes without you. Hit your Deso blink timing, and then join up with us later on.
A little snaking his way through his own woods. Gonna backpack on solos. Maneuver into the enemy jungle. Drop down an aggressive ward. Not finding an opening just yet, but now the nighttime clocks in. And the fun begins for the Vampire. They're gonna converge on the mid tower with the Alpha Wolf now. Ramsey's gonna be looking for a quick tier 1 mid. Looks like he might find it though. Underlord TPing in. And
they got the
see you later, homie, because they had the trap in the trees. Well played by no one.
And he's, back bottom lane. He's going to walk his way here. Tower should fall before then, but
could be a big pick on no one if they can bring him down. He's not quite dead just yet. The Centaur Stomp, well microed, sir, but unfortunately, they're going to lose the Jug anyway. 3 heroes biting the dust. Man, that glimpse on General turning out to be so big, gods.
Yeah, the
if he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Could have been a completely different fight.
Absolutely. And that is not the fight NaVi were hoping for defending that lane. They're going to lose the Centaur as well, which is 125 gold going to the Troll. So he gets a tower, he gets a Helm of the Dominator creep, he backs off to continue farming. They only lost the TA, which is it's a decent kill. It was the most farmed hero in the game, but NaVi lost 2 of their cores. That was a disaster of a fight for the NaVi squad.
They are hunting Lil. He will engage with the darkness here, tries to make it out. Rolling boulder, tornado forward, good clip there. Then he's gonna follow up with an EMP, which will do absolutely nothing, but the cold snap will get the job done. So finally NaVi find a kill. It's a clean one, but only a support Night Stalker.
Yeah. Well, immediately transition into a smoke play. Looks like they're not going to try and do anything sneaky on the bottom or top side of the map. They're just going to sit around General in this mid lane to try and secure a tier 1 tower of their own. Radiant scan, I think they are aware of NaVi playing aggressive, going for that kind of a smoke, because they scan to protect themselves, but Iron Man comes in post-scan, gets a ward down, and will look to try and secure this mid tier 1.
And NaVi's starting to work on that tier 1 in the mid lane. Working towards the Coddle Ags. Definitely looking like they want to go for that big 5-man vacuum. Static Storm combo there. There's the teamwork coordination from VP coming through. And now Pycat's got a turn tail and run away. Lil trying to hound him back. A good job there by the Keep of the Light. Blasting the Night Stalker away as they pull in again. The Pit Lord bringing him down once more. The Pit Lord just getting picked off repeatedly. And this is a big bucket of golden experience the VP are just feasting upon.
These vacuum static storms onto the Jug +1 and just winning them fights. It was a really good healing ward placement. Pycat had the healing ward there in the tree, so even through the vacuum static storm combo, they survived it thanks to the mech plus healing ward, but they still weren't in fighting shape. They were still very low, and eventually the Disruptor found the healing ward in the trees, brought it down, and the fight did start to swing the way of Virtus.pro, so NaVi... Neither of those 2 fights where they kind of fought and looked to defend, Pycat didn't get an Omni Slash off, so they're not really using a lot of their key spells. The Tornado EMP, I think the Tornado only clipped 1 hero, the EMP maybe caught 2, but didn't really catch a whole lot. And they're fighting at night. That's really, to me, probably the bigger issue out of all of this, is you're fighting into a vision advantage, not to mention, I mean, Night Stalker just a whole lot more potent at the nighttime as well.
They find Solo. It could be a freebie, but Pycat needs to get in range for the Omni Slash here. The Glimpse already committed. Boulder Smash off the mark from Arman. Even after the rolling boulder forward, won't be able to find that what looked to be simple kill. Meanwhile, Lil mowing down a tower, and if you just follow the Night Stalker right now, he is just charging like a bull headlong past enemy lines. Even if he doesn't get a kill, he's forcing Biver to TP away and just has no fear, gods. Kind of a microcosm of how the game is going.
Yeah, he's feeling very confident. This is like Lil in a very comfy state when he can play this aggressive and move around the map as he has. I mean, he died that one time well behind enemy lines, but even that was like one of those timings where he's just creating space solo even, juking tornadoes and playing super aggressive with his positioning.
See Pasha very confident as well in his own right. Fiverr gonna mono leak him. He'll probably just tank the stun here. Not recall bringing in reinforcements, but from the south come the VP squad. They're content to back off, though, as they are just farming up a storm on their cores. No one. He already got the Deso, now the Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, Ramsey's on the Troll. Sanj and Yasha very close to completion to go with that Dominator.
NaVi should really want to force something. It's daytime now. The darkness was even used, so it's not just daytime, but it's also like permanent daytime. Night Stalker has no way of turning a teamfight around with his ultimate, and ooh, dodges the tornado at bottom. That would have been a nice pick-off if Dendi could have gotten that with the Coddle backing him up.
Dendi did go back for the Midas, but even with the Midas, he is sitting 6th in net worth right now and not having much luck coming back, and missing tornadoes like that is not going to help.
Definitely a slight concern. Coddle, decent farm, is working towards the Aghanim Scepter, has a couple of pieces, but no one finds a pick at mid. Blink Deso, the burst damage is there, and that is a daytime kill. It's daytime, and VP are getting pickoffs, they're securing Roche. This is about as bad as it can get for NaVi, given their current position. They're meant to be the ones who are stronger right now. They buy back on Underlord, but I think it may be too late. Oh, is it?
Is he going to come in? Could drop the ult and try to move into the pit. No, he's going to TP. Looks to engage, and he gets caught in that static storm towards the tail end. The wall also dropped for zoning tactics. Arman very low. Ramsey's looking to move forward here. Is getting cold snap controlled by Dendi, but the follow-up damage simply isn't there. NaVi unable to find the kills just yet. Pycat trying to worm his way into the pit, but also don't think he would kill Roche off in time. They're lacking the single target physical damage, and VP just poised to move back in. Probably hoping that Darkness will be allowed to cool down, that NaVi won't be able to make a move before then as Pycat just creeps.
NaVi is still very strong though. They've got Omni Slash, they've got the Tornado EMP Invoker, which has pretty high uptime, and General's Mech has come back up.
Ramsey's threatening them. They're going to send no one into the pit alone, and he will get caught out for a moment by the Pit of Malice, but able to blink away. Now Pycat smacking the Roche a couple of times. No Static Storm available for now, but they still move in. They're going to drop the kinetic field. Pycat and General moving past on the wrong side. They vacuum General away from his team. Tornado coming through. General's still alive through all of this. The mech keeps him in fighting shape. No one able to snatch the Aegis away, though. Slays Dendi in the end, and will now look for additional kills. They brought down 2, make it 3, going splat. Arman will fall, and now the trap deployed onto Pycat as he spins away, looking at least for the safe escape towards the well. Biver, though, might not be so lucky. Pasha chasing him out, commits the surge. That's 4 heroes dead, and on top of no one, still easily hanging onto the Aegis through that. What a disastrous fight for NaVi.
Yeah, they felt so under pressure there, knowing that Roche was as low as it was. It was daytime with darkness still down. Like, I mean, on paper, it was a good time to fight. No Static Storm, no darkness. They had a Tornado EMP ready. They had most of their key spells and items. They had the mech up. They had Omni Slash, but vision was not favoring them. Both TA traps were there, giving full vision of Roshan, giving full vision of the entire NaVi team. The sentries weren't around the pit, and as a result, TA knew exactly when to go and steal the Aegis. They had the vision to hit the vacuum as well. Vacuuming the pit lord out of the Roche pit to isolate him and bring him down meant that they didn't really get any value out of the mech. He used it just to keep himself alive a little bit longer. It wasn't for his team. And it was just really good use of the vision around the pit by VP.
Well, not looking great here for NaVi. Gods, can they slow it down a little bit, head towards late game with farm? Do they need to go first? Smoke gank? What's the game plan if you're NaVi?
They can try and slow it down by farming, and for the late game they've got the Midas on Invoker, but he's still not in a good position as far as his overall net worth. He's behind the Dark Sphere. All 3 Radiant Cores are ahead of him. The Night Stalker's not far behind him, so slowing it down only works so well. They're going to be forced to defend high ground. That's really the scenario here. They're going to become the high ground defenders. It's going to come down to how well and effectively they can defend this using the... I mean, they've got great high ground defense. Coddle, Pit Lord, 2 great spammers, Tornado EMP, very annoying as well. And you want to try to defend with the bare minimum while split pushing. That's exactly what Dendi's doing up top. His team's probably kind of telling him, like, we're going to try and defend these lanes using the Firestorm, the Illuminate. You try and get some objective elsewhere on the map.
Looking for the cutoff here. And Pycat able to TP away in the trees. Pasha hoping to catch him snoozing and out of position, but makes it out safely at least. His solo will do his best to bring down the mighty Alpha Wolf. We'll just redominate another creep.
make sure he doesn't feed away any gold, so gets a not too useful Hellbear, but better than feeding the gold away, and NaVi buy themselves a little bit of time with the Aegis up, but VP, oh no, they've caught Dendi.
Scouting out Dendi, they get off the Void, no follow-up. Still though, just a Night Stalker hitting him, he's like, yeah, I'm TPing the hell away.
He's just like, he just TP'd and crossed his fingers, hoped he was going to live, because he knew there's no running there. If there's a TA who's going to blink on you, you're dead. If there's not, you TP out, you live, and that was at least the case for Dendi in that situation.
So the Hurricane Pike now complete on Noah and ramping up his own damage potential as he gets a little extra range to work with.
He's chase further. It's also the counter item to the Invoker, like the Tornado EMP. There's maybe a small window where you can full staff yourself out of the EMP. And even for the late game against the Tornado Chaos Media combo, you want to have the full staff to be able to push yourself out of that Deafening Blast, Media, Tornado combo that the Invokers like to go for.
I like these aggressive wards from VP. As you see, they've warded off towards the secret shop. They got the lane ward mid. Solo doing a good job at fueling the aggression here. As well as just the split push potential. RMN taking a single shot in the wrist from that melt, bringing him well below half.
Lil's
they're just
close
taking
to
over
his
the jungle
Ags.
here.
Yeah, and they've got Lil bottom. Like, he's like, I'm going to finish my Ags, you guys control top. TA with an Aegis is enough of a scare that Teams NaVi don't want to leave their base, and with good reason. Solo gets an easy RMN kill, but may pay for this with his life. Not really a good trade.
Well, they get something. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Pycat will try for the TP out, but he's like, oh crap, there's a troll here. He's angry out for blood. We'll bring him down. Gets the bash and gets the kill. That's a big one. Pycat really that one ray of hope is, oh yeah, meanwhile no one. Just chunky Numbiver on the Coddle. And guys, this is when NaVi spread out. That VP just shred them. They cannot really fight on their own.
They've got good pick off. The Night Stalker on one side, the TA with a Blink Deso elsewhere, the Disruptor Glimpse. They're finding the kills, and see there the Hurricane Pike getting him out of a dangerous position, but Rosham will expire, so perhaps VP may reconsider this, but they've got the numbers advantage, and yeah, no one's on the high ground because of that.
I mean, look at this TA. No one is just absolutely out of control, going bonkers on NaVi, bringing down RMN. They're not showing any signs of backing here either, as TA is healthy. And two heroes dead for 30 seconds, blinking in with the Hurricane Pike, gonna shove Dendi back towards as well, and no one. Just ignoring the Monolith, shaking it off. We'll go under cover of Meld as brings down the tower, looking for the Rex too. With the Troll ultimate up again, BP, they siege very quickly. Melee down, Blink out, and NaVi unable to chase. BKB nearly complete, and gods, there's basically nothing to do with this BKB.
Yeah, they're entirely relying on the Invoker to control these heroes during a fight with Tornadoes, with Deafening Blasts, and once the BKB's there, TA just blinks in, BKBs, kills whoever he wants to. Omni Slash, I guess, can be used, but you Omni Slash at TA when she BKBs, and she's got Refraction up, so you're not going to kill her, you're just wasting an Omni Slash cooldown, and it won't really amount to all too much, so very, very tough game for NaVi to pull back. They lost the Rax there. That was without the Aegis even being... the Aegis had expired. I guess they'd lost a few heroes to the Aegis TA, but this game just gets tougher and tougher. VP can maintain the map control they've got if they want, and then just secure another Roshan. They can try and smoke up to find pickoffs. They've got the Ags on Night Stalker, so while Coddle's got an Ags as well, it's going to be nighttime much more often than it's daytime, and that's where this Coddle Ags is just not going to provide NaVi the vision and utility that they hoped it would give them.
Losing all semblance of map control now is with that tier 3 down, they'll begin to drop the shrine, so NaVi even tougher to leave the base, relying heavily on the Keeper of the Light. That is the main way to get out. Still no BOTs up on Dendi. The problem though is they're very mobile on this BP side, so you leave the base with Keeper and you might just run into the freight train.
Yep.
And here it comes now. The plow is on the move.
Oh yeah, they'll see everything as soon as that nighttime hits, and they can pop the darkness before nighttime to transition into night, so they get that elongated nighttime period.
And Blinken, you'll miss it. take a
Dendi.
second too long to move your camera, you'll miss
Dendi?
it as well.
He wasn't responding to the heroes there. Gets the full stuff out, but he's glimpsed back.
And caught and in a lot of trouble. Oh, almost two-shot there. The Guardian's Greaves helping to keep him alive. Instead, it's on to Biber. That they'll go. No one, not actually killing anyone off after that initial Earth Spear kill, but does drive 2 back to the well and quickly turning to look at this tower.
Just styling on them. Just going in on whatever he wants to at this point.
Really not afraid. And why should he be? They just can't seem to touch him. The vacuum, Static Storm combination catching out 2. A beautiful grab by Ha Solo, playing like a true team fella here as Ramsey's going to bring down another. That's Dendi, General hitting the deck. Pycat about to follow. VP showing insane teamwork. 4 hit the deck. NaVi, they're out of it, gods. There's just nothing in the tank.
Yeah, it's all over. Yeah, we go. They'll GG out. No one getting completely out of control. Ends things with an ultra kill in his Templar Assassin, and VP with a much more dominant game 3. It was a close game 1 that they took. A good comeback from NaVi in game 2, but this is perhaps more the VP people expected coming into this qualifiers and coming into this specific match against NaVi, who struggled in the group stages. VP were undefeated.